The 2020 NFL Draft went pretty well for some teams, and, well, not so awesome for others. So let's go back in time and make the changes some teams wish they could have in that draft. What is going on, guys? When it comes to the NFL Draft, there's no such thing as do-overs. But let's just say there was. What would the 2020 NFL Draft look like 1 year later? Here's an idea of exactly who might go where as we redraft the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft. Number 1, Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. No need to make any changes here. Burrow looked as good as advertised before suffering season-ending ACL and MCL tears. The Bengals have their franchise quarterback. Zero regrets about this pick. Number 2, Washington Football Team, Chase Young. Same thing here, Washington knew they were landing a generational game-changing pass rusher. Young anchored one of the league's best front sevens, guiding the football team to a surprise NFC East Division title. Young had 7.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles in year 1, and to think he hasn't hit his full ceiling yet. Number 3, Detroit Lions, Justin Herbert. Now that we know 2020 was Matthew Stafford's last year with the Detroit Lions, we can safely assume that they would happily snatch his successor in a redraft. Herbert, who went 6th overall to the Los Angeles Chargers, posted the best rookie quarterback season ever. He recorded 396 completions and 31 touchdowns, both rookie records, as well as 4,336 passing yards. No way the Lions could possibly pass up on him if they had another chance. Number 4, New York Giants, Justin Jefferson. Daniel Jones couldn't do much in his sophomore season with a lackluster set of pass catchers. So in the do-over, they take the man who had the best rookie wideout season ever. Jefferson, taken 22nd overall by the Minnesota Vikings, recorded 88 catches for 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns. For the Giants, this is an easy call. Number 5, Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, Tagovailoa had a frustrating rookie year and kept rotating the starting job with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Did you know that Peyton Manning and John Elway also had lackluster rookie years? And we'd say they both turned out just fine. Miami doesn't think twice here. They still happily take Tua, with Burrow and Herbert both off the board. Number 6, Los Angeles Chargers, Tristan Wirfs. The Chargers won't ever complain about getting Herbert in the number 6 spot, but in this exercise, he's off the board. So they address the leaky offensive line instead. The pick here is Tristan Wirfs, the stud offensive tackle who played a major role in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl championship season. He allowed just 1 sack all year, according to Pro Football Focus. Franchise offensive tackles don't come around often, so the Chargers happily take Wirfs in our redraft. Number 7, Carolina Panthers, Derek Brown. No reason for the Panthers to change their original selection. Brown was a run-stopping force on a young Carolina defense. He didn't post the fancy stats that Chase Young put up, but Brown was a difference maker in the trenches. This guy has a very bright career ahead of him. Number 8, Arizona Cardinals, Mekhi Becton. The Cardinals failed to properly utilize the versatile Isaiah Simmons in his rookie year, so they go in another direction for this redraft. How about Mekhi Becton? Becton was one of the few positives on a miserable New York Jets team. He struggled with consistency and penalties, but he showed signs of future superstardom as well during his rookie year. Kyler Murray needs better protection, so Becton could have been a perfect fit here. Number 9, Jacksonville Jaguars, L'Jarius Sneed. The Jaguars used this pick on CJ Henderson. Cornerback was an organizational need, so we'll give them a different guy at the same position. The Kansas City Chiefs landed Sneed in the 4th round, 138th overall. He recorded 3 interceptions and 7 passes defended while allowing just 250 yards and 1 touchdown in coverage, according to Pro Football Reference. Great production from a rookie corner. Jacksonville thinks highly of Henderson, but they can't say no to Sneed's elite playmaking talents. Number 10, Cleveland Browns, Jedrick Wills Jr. The Browns ended an 18-year playoff drought thanks to an unstoppable rushing offense that was guided by a rebuilt offensive line. So why would they change their original selection? Wills, Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin made life a lot easier for Baker Mayfield and the Browns offense, which is exactly what Cleveland wants. Number 11, New York Jets, CeeDee Lamb. With Becton off the board, the Jets need to look elsewhere here. Sam Darnold had a very ineffective supporting cast to work with in 2020, and Lamb would have given him a reliable number 1 wideout. The Oklahoma product recorded 74 catches for 935 yards and 5 touchdowns, even though he had to share targets with Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. If he's the top guy in New York, those numbers are probably even more impressive. Number 12, Las Vegas Raiders, Antoine Winfield Jr. The Raiders had one of the league's worst defenses in 2020. The secondary was especially bad, but a player like Antoine Winfield Jr. could have changed that. Taken by the Bucs in the 2nd round. Winfield excelled in coverage and as a pass rusher, recording 3 sacks. John Gruden would love a do-it-all safety to build his defense around. If he had another crack at it, he easily passes on Ruggs to take Winfield. Number 13, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Michael Onwenu. The Bucs wouldn't change a thing about the Wirf selection, but since he's off the board in this redraft, the Super Bowl champions instead take the next best offensive lineman available. Onwenu was taken in the 6th round, 182nd overall, by the New England Patriots. He played right tackle, left guard, and right guard in his rookie year, allowing just 3 sacks. That level of protection would be greatly appreciated by Tom Brady. Number 14, San Francisco 49ers. Damian Lewis. In terms of pass protection, the 49ers offensive line left a lot to be desired in 2020. So Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch addressed this by taking the former LSU guard, who fell to the Seattle Seahawks in the 69th spot, though Lewis had his ups and downs in pass protection. He was an elite run blocker in Seattle. That'll work nicely in San Francisco's run-heavy offense. Number 15, Denver Broncos. T. Higgins. The Broncos used this pick on Jerry Jeudy, and though he wasn't a disappointment by any means, he simply didn't produce as much as the Broncos had hoped. So let's give them the NFL's 3rd best rookie receiver of 2020. Higgins emerged as the Bengals' top wideout in 2020, recording 67 catches for a team-leading 908 yards and 6 touchdowns. And he had to share targets with AJ Green and Tyler Boyd. Number 16, Atlanta Falcons. Jeremy Chinn. The Falcons had the right idea when they took AJ Terrell here. The secondary needed fixing, but with the benefit of hindsight, we know that Panthers safety Jeremy Chinn would have been the better choice. Chinn was a force all over the field, with an interception, 5 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, a sack, and 117 tackles. He struggled in coverage, but that's typical for rookie defensive backs. His high skill set would make him the perfect addition to Atlanta's dreadful secondary. Number 17, Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jeudy. With Lamb off the board, let's give the Cowboys the next best receiver available. As we mentioned earlier, Jeudy didn't exactly take off with the Broncos in year 1. We're sure the Cowboys' explosive passing game would have gotten better use out of him though. We saw what Dak can do with 3 elite receivers at his disposal. Our guess is Jerry Jones would want to give him the luxury once again. Number 18, Miami Dolphins. Andrew Thomas. Thomas went 4th overall to the Giants, but he struggled mightily in year 1. That leads him falling down the board. But the Dolphins are desperate at offensive tackle, so they make him a top 20 selection anyway. Miami used this pick on Austin Jackson, who was barely starting caliber. Thomas allowed 10 sacks and 57 pressures, but he was solid as a run blocker. Maybe a change of scenery would help him maximize his talents. Number 19, Las Vegas Raiders. Chase Claypool. The Raiders addressed the secondary with their first pick in round 1. Now they can focus on getting a new weapon for Derek Carr. Claypool fell to the Pittsburgh Steelers with the 49th selection. His home run abilities would have made him a nice fit in the Raiders' vertical passing game. Surely he would have fared better than Henry Ruggs, who underperformed greatly. Number 20, Jacksonville Jaguars. Julian Blackmon. The Jaguars already took Snead in this redraft, but why not double down and add another playmaker to fix your weak pass defense? Blackmon was a rock in the young Indianapolis Colts secondary, making big plays while flying all over the field. Could you imagine drafting Snead and Blackmon? That's how you address the defense. Number 21, Philadelphia Eagles. Henry Ruggs. Ruggs is one of the most disappointing rookies of 2020. Not just because of injuries, but also because he just didn't look like a proper fit in the Raiders' offense. Perhaps Ruggs finds his footing a little better in the Eagles' offense. They once had a burner in Deshaun Jackson. Maybe Ruggs takes his place and gets it done with Jalen Hurts feeding him the ball. Number 22, Minnesota Vikings. Jeffrey Okudah. The number 3 selection had a forgettable season in Detroit. He wasn't anything close to a top 25 rookie, but the cornerback-needy Vikings would have had a tough time passing on him here. Maybe Mike Zimmer, one of the game's best defensive-minded head coaches, maximizes Okudah's talents right off the bat, something that the Lions obviously couldn't do. Number 23, Los Angeles Chargers. Jonathan Taylor. The Chargers' rushing offense was mediocre at best in 2020. May as well address that here by taking the workhorse running back who fell to the Colts at number 41 overall. Taylor was a beast with the ball, recording 1,169 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns, to go along with 36 catches for 299 yards and a touchdown. They may not have Justin Herbert in this redraft, but at least the Chargers get themselves an elite backfield by pairing Austin Eckler with JT. Number 24, New Orleans Saints. Michael Walker. The Saints dealt with several injuries at the linebacker position in 2020, and it played a big factor in another heartbreaking playoff loss. So let's give them Michael Walker, a hidden gem found by the Falcons in the 4th round. Walker didn't light up the stat sheet, but he was elite in coverage. He would have been a fun piece in Dennis Allen's defense, and a tremendous compliment to Demario Davis. Number 25, San Francisco 49ers. Brandon Ayuk. Not seeing a reason to change the 49ers' original selection. Ayuk could have probably hit 1,000 yards if he didn't miss 4 games. 748 yards and 5 touchdowns touchdowns in 12 games. Ain't too shabby for a rookie. And he didn't even have Jimmy Garoppolo for most of the season. Number 26, Green Bay Packers. Michael Pittman Jr. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP award and helped Green Bay reach the NFC Championship game. Imagine if he had another quality wideout to complement Davante Adams. They could have very well won the Super Bowl. A do-over means they take a guy to help Rodgers win now, and not Jordan Love. So let's go with the best remaining wideout. Pittman Jr. was a productive weapon for Phillip Rivers and the Colts in year one. You have to think he'd fare even better playing with Rodgers in Green Bay. Number 27, Seattle Seahawks. Cameron Curl. Trading for Jamal Adams wasn't enough to fix the Seahawks' horrendous pass defense. So let's give them another defensive back to pair Adams with. Curl, drafted by Washington in the 7th round, was a solid cover safety on Ron Rivera's defense. He had 3 picks, 4 passes defended, and 2 sacks. Pete Carroll would have had so much fun moving Curl and Adams around together. Pretty much the Legion of Boom 2.0. Maybe. Number 28, Baltimore Ravens. Isaiah Simmons. Patrick Queen didn't flourish as much as expected for the Ravens. He should grow into a star, but in our redraft, there's no way they'd pass on the more athletic and promising Isaiah Simmons. As noted earlier, the Cardinals didn't really do much with Simmons in his rookie year, but this guy would have been a big-time difference maker in Don Martindale's defense. Simmons' athleticism and ability to play multiple positions would have made him a star in Baltimore. Number 29, Tennessee Titans. Alex Highsmith. Tennessee's weak pass defense and lackluster pass rush prevented them from getting back to the AFC Championship game. Getting Alex Highsmith, who fell to the Steelers in round 3, could have really fixed this Titans unit, despite being used in a limited role. Highsmith earned a 72.0 grade from Pro Football Focus on the year. He had 2 sacks and 6 quarterback hits, but you have to think he would have done far more in an expanded role in Tennessee. Number 30, Miami Dolphins. Darnell Mooney. As far as pass catchers go, Tagovailoa didn't have much to work with in his rookie year. The redraft allows them to fix that by taking lightning-quick speedster Darnell Mooney, whom the Chicago Bears took in round 5. Mooney posted 61 catches for 631 yards and 4 touchdowns on a frustratingly inconsistent Chicago offense. Sure, Miami's offense wasn't much better, but maybe that could change if Tua has a guy like Mooney to throw to. Number 31, Minnesota Vikings. Kenneth Murray. The Vikings defense was downright awful in 2020. Obviously, they couldn't have predicted injuries to Anthony Barr and Danielle Hunter, so hindsight allows them to address the front 7 here. Oklahoma linebacker Kenneth Murray was a solid find for the Chargers at number 23 overall. He's still on the board in our redraft, so the Vikings find another hopeful future star to work alongside Okudah. Suddenly that defense looks a lot more promising. Number 32, Kansas City Chiefs. Antonio Gibson. Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually posted slightly better numbers than Gibson, but he also played on a much better offense. Gibson displayed more game-changing abilities on a sluggish Washington offense, and his abilities to make the big plays in both the rushing and receiving game make him the better fit for Andy Reid's system. What changes would you make to our 2020 NFL redraft? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, we're on everything. Go find us, go subscribe, go follow. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click down below. We really appreciate it. It really helps us out. And subscribe to TPS. We post videos every single day. Every day's a new video. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.